Welcome to the DU Weekly Check-In. I'm joined by men's lacrosse head coach Bill Tierney. Coach, let's talk about it's preseason. You're about 2 weeks away from the start of your 2014 season, and you guys just scrimmaged North Carolina. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I'd like not to, but the reason we do these scrimmages, Nicole, is to find out who we are. Oftentimes you practice. We've only been practicing 8 days. Oftentimes you practice and you think everything's just rosy and everything's good, and then you go against another great team like North Carolina, and you get exposed a little bit, which is why you scrimmage. So, it didn't turn out to be quite as exciting and as our last year's quarterfinal game against them, but it's good. We learned a lot. We played a lot of guys, and back to the drawing board today, knowing that we got to get ready for Air Force on the 8th. That's all that really matters.
So what can you tell us a little bit about your team so far? You got to see them in the fall. You got to really work with them. And since the break, you've kind of had, about a week, 2 weeks to kind of really get hands-on with them. What can you tell us about your team?
Well, I can tell you that they're a great group of young men. They really practice hard. They play hard. They care very much. They're good guys. And so, with that in mind, when we have a day like maybe we did on Saturday, and everything didn't click the way we wanted to, we know that they're concerned as we are, and they'll come back to the practice today, and we'll start anew and correct the mistakes that we made. But it's a wonderful group of young men that I know we're going to have a great season, and we just got to keep working hard.
So I know the burning question in a lot of fans' minds is who's going to replace Eric Law. Can you answer that?
Well, right now we're trying to replace Eric Law with Jack Bobzian. Jack is a wonderful player. He's a great kid, as I said about all of them. He's trying very hard. It's just a difficult spot to be put in. He's only a sophomore. He's learning a whole new offense. He played at Hartford last year, played a little different role there. So he's learning, and as we all know, Coach Brown's offense is not the easiest one to learn, but once he gets it down, it's going to be great. Maybe the hardest thing for Jack is that we're playing him with a lot of different guys. Zach Miller, Eric Adamson, Wesley Berg, Tyler Pace, they're all in the mix there. So becoming the quarterback of that crew is a challenge. But Jack's doing great. He had 3 assists the other day and a goal, I think, and he wants to learn, he wants to be good, and he wants to just help the team. So I don't have any worries about Jack having a great year.
So now my next question is about the Face-Off X. Chase Guevara, last 4 years, kind of put this team on his back in that position. Who do you see filling that role?
Well, first Chris Hampton. I know that when we scrimmaged Carolina last weekend, that their face-off guys were happy to not see number 32 out there facing off. And Chris is what we call a mucker. He's going to battle for the ball. He's going to try to make it hard on his opponent. And we're going to have to do a much better job than we have in the past, or rely on guys that we haven't had to in the past to come in off the wings and help Chris. But we also Christian Thomas did a nice job. We're working with Joe Bano. So between the 3 of those, we're kind of going to do it by committee. We don't have a Chase Guevara, but my contention on facing off is as long as you don't give up fast break goals. You'd like to get a couple, but as long as you don't give up fast break goals, and then you can win in that 50% range, you're going to be okay.
Right. So now you open up your season on February 8th at Air Force. And then we take on Duke, the defending national champions, the following weekend. So what's it like to start off the season that way? I mean, the game against Air Force is always going to be tough. They're a great opponent, and they always play with so much pride. So how is it to start the season off that way?
Well, as you know better than anybody, we've had to, with the conference changing around, we've had to adjust our schedule. Air Force was a March 21st game in our conference. Now they're non-conference. We had to fit Rutgers into that date. So we always want to play Air Force. I think they certainly want to always play us. And so we had to move it up to the first game of the season. Air Force is wonderfully coached. They're a great group of guys, and they're going to play very hard, especially with the knowledge that we got lucky last year and beat them in overtime. And so it's their place. We don't know whether we'll play indoors or out, depending on the weather, but we know that they'll be ready, and it's our challenge to make sure that our guys understand that this is a huge game, huge game to start this season, and then we'll worry about Duke the following week. But you need to have a challenging non-league schedule. We do. We got Duke, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame, Air Force, Penn. These are all really good lacrosse teams, and but we wouldn't want it any other way either. So if we're ranked in the top 5 in the country, we've got to show that we've earned that, and we've got to take on these challenges and get ourselves ready for our inaugural Big East, league play.
Right. So you guys, before your game against Air Force, you have one last tune-up game. That's against CSU this Saturday here at Barton Stadium. So what's it like scrimmaging against a team like CSU?
Well, Alex Smith, their coach, is a good friend of ours, and Alex has done an amazing job. Club lacrosse, he's been a 2-time defending national champion, and I know that he and his players are really excited about coming here. It's our job to, and this will be a great opportunity for us to not worry about whether we're playing Carolina, Colorado State, Air Force, or Duke. It's our job to do what we do and do it as well as we possibly can. We appreciate Smitty coming down here and showing up, and we'll see what happens. I know it's going to be a challenge. I know our guys are going to be excited about it, especially in light of what happened this past weekend at Carolina. And it's just another tune-up against a team with different colored jerseys.
Right. Well, thanks for joining me today, and good luck this Saturday. Be sure to get your season tickets for the 2014 season as the Pioneers kick off February 8th against Air Force on the road. Thanks for tuning in to the DU Weekly Check-In.